I just want to say a few words to white America. I'm getting sick and tired of that nonsense. It's easy for you. I thought we were past it. Well, when were you a part of it? When did you have to worry about fairness? When did you have to worry about being prejudiced against? So quick to point out, I thought we were beyond this. Could you do me a favor, please, and be quiet? Be decent enough to understand that you don't understand and shut the hell up. You don't understand. You don't get it.
As a Black American, it's like a point of pride to know that like my ancestors like built this country.
That's not the issue. The issue here is if there's a double standard or not, and there is not a double standard.
And there is. I
white
think
people.
There is.
Hold on, Ben. White.
And here's the difference.
How, Ben?
And all they're doing is beating on race, and then the same exact thing happens. And
Okay, let's do point by point here. Let's do point by point. So you said you'd have pastors coming out. No one's stopping white pastors from coming out.
And who would cover that? And more importantly, they would say they're out of touch and, well, they're racist because they're coming out having some white march.
If we had white pastors coming out.
Because of the double standard.
Whether or not Jesse's story is completely false or not, it's just a conversation starter that people have gotten into. And it's great to see that most people are going, hey, we do know that this is a real thing, though.
ABC has just issued a stunning statement, Wolf, that says the show has been canceled. Roseanne's Twitter statement, these racist remarks earlier in the day, are abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with our values.
Again, there was, in his mind at least, no debate about this. And again, you can't debate what is the morally right thing to do.
Instead of a boy or a girl, gender-neutral babies are known as babies. Babies are babies without a known sex. That means only parents and trusted caregivers know that baby's anatomy.
My own mother did not know Sparrow's genitals for the first 3 months, even though she was living with us at the time. We want them to get to experience all genders.
So what do you think of the Ugandan knuckles?
It's a racist caricature of black people and it needs to stop and be gone.
There is such a thing as too much.
I think the Ugandan knuckles is a very racist meme, and that's what makes it funny. And it's not funny to do that.
But has a new site called Where White People Meet crossed the line.
If you walk into the WIC office, you can walk in, first of all, with no ID, no address, and no income.
Kelly Baker says the program has few regulations to prevent fraud, and there's little done by employees to verify identity, income, even citizenship. We sent an undercover producer into a WIC office in DeKalb County to see what they required to sign up. Turns out, not much.
I don't have my ID on me, though. That's okay. I didn't realize that you were applying. Is it also I need a social security number or anything like that? No.
This memo instructs employees to accept expired ID, even foreign identification, but cautions, quote, acceptance of an expired ID is not a practice WIC would like to advertise to the general public. So we sat outside a WIC office for 3 days in April and watched some fancy cars and SUVs pull in, including a Hummer, Escalade, and a BMW.
My job is to approve them for WIC. I had been told that numerous times by several supervisors.
He says he wants to apply for pardon for the felony he committed.
Number 3.
A third-degree felony?
Intento de matar.
Attempt of murder.
They learned the illegal immigrant who prosecutors say nearly killed their young son in a DUI car crash will no longer be facing felony charges.
The same man has been deported back to Mexico a total of 15 times.
And no one will be held responsible for it, and that's really difficult for us. Well, where he sustained pretty significant head trauma, we're not even sure of the full extent to which he'll be impaired.
Well, I agree with it. I don't think ICE today is working as intended.
Well, you think you should get rid of the agency?
We should protect families that need our help, and that is not what ICE is doing today, and that's why I believe you should get rid of it, start over.
Giving groundbreaking new rights to transgender students, like the freedom to choose which school bathroom, which locker room you want to use, and which sports teams he or she may join, just based upon which gender a boy or a girl chooses to identify with.
For the second year in a row, a transgender wrestler has won the Texas Girls Championship.
Terry Miller and Andrea Yearwood smoked the competition at last week's state championships for track and field. Miller and Yearwood are both transgender. Born boys, they raced against the girls.
When our First Lady said that we have to wipe out childhood obesity in one generation,
She essentially gave permission to everyone to condemn the children with higher body weights.
We're changing the paradigm that we are not the problem. The problem is that our world doesn't accommodate a diversity of bodies. So that's what we need to change, not so much changing who we are and changing our body, but instead changing society.
I'm not unattractive because I'm fat. I'm fat and I'm hot. I am fat and I am smart. I am not lazy because I'm fat. Like, why run? It's not fun, is it? I don't need to do yoga. I have a personality. So
we're literally in a fight for the soul of America. We're talking defending the very principles of democracy and freedom that our country was founded on.
Wanted to thank you all for coming to this farewell penis party. I'm happy to say goodbye, so let's cut it off!
Yeah. I will be father to my child, as will my husband Alex, so please do not refer to either of us as a mother or mum. This is extremely important for my mental and emotional well-being.
But what makes this summer program unique is the campers it serves. Transgender children, some as young as 4 years old.
And we're gonna take what lesbian sex position are you? Quiz.
They stay on. They're so vibrant. I just go crazy with them.
Ella didn't tell me what we were talking about today.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
I want us to tell the stories of the first time we got vibrators.
Well, when I had a substitute, sometimes I had to educate, called me a boy. I even had some friends stick up for me. They were like, she's a girl.
And it was kind of weird, you know, when we have to educate the folks who are supposed to educate us.
In the privileged group, it says white people. In the target group, it says people of color. Religious oppression. In the privileged group, it says Christian people. In the target group, it says all others.
They say the district spent more than $1 million on it over the last 5 years.
When we look into, we also see a great deal of money that has been really pulled out of the district and put in these nonprofits.
So I started sending photos to my mom. Wow, look at this, feces in the toilet. Wow, my friend's desk just broke when she sat down in it. Wow, look at this, rats. Like, isn't this great?
Teaching evidence-based diversity, equity, and inclusion curriculum has significantly improved educational outcomes in Santa Barbara schools. Unfortunately, our opponents continue to attack our work and bring baseless litigation that we believe only serves to undermine quality education and students' chances of excelling in school.
Some kind of U.S. or global agency is needed to regulate web content.
And so that means it's up to us as a public to figure out what do we want and not want, and how do we want to make sure that we're holding these organizations accountable when these bad things do happen.
Maybe a 10-minute delay. Maybe it's not Facebook Live, it's Facebook 10 minutes ago.
It's critical that we're not utilizing technologies like Twitter to shut down voices and to silence others, and we need to do more of the work for them. We need to take away the burden of reporting harassment or abuse. We need to utilize technology better to automatically identify where it's happening or where there's a high probability of it happening.
We've spent years building computer vision technology to identify exactly this kind of content. Computer vision is the branch of artificial intelligence that enables machines to visually see what's in a photo.
What if you could type directly from your brain? It sounds impossible, but it's closer than you may realize.
It's a massive, complicated undertaking, and one that will change what you see in your Facebook feed. Facebook's strategy is to lift news from trusted sources higher. Fake news and hoaxes will still be there, but pushed farther down, with links from fact checks to provide context.
But ahead of that conversation, we failed to inform you of some anti-Jewish sentiments Mr. McGinnis has expressed in the past. And although we heard from an academic immediately following the interview to get an opposing perspective on the group, we also could have followed up that interview with an Indigenous voice.
You can't just say that legitimate reporters are stupid. When you do these things, you're not only dividing us further, but you're making this country more dangerous.
They can't trust what's said from the president's mouthpiece, spokesperson from the People's House. Therefore, she should be let go, she should be fired. End of story. When there is a lack of credibility there, you have to start lopping the heads off.
There are many areas where the Senate should be conducting oversight of the tech industry. Baseless allegations of anti-conservative bias is not one of them. If conservatives have had their content removed, maybe they should look at the content at the content that they're posting. Maybe they shouldn't post lies about Planned Parenthood. Maybe they shouldn't inflame religious tensions by misrepresenting the tenets of one of the world's major religions. I hope that going forward, this subcommittee will focus on the real issues facing America, like hate speech.
Be decent enough to understand that you don't understand and shut the hell up. You don't understand. You don't get it.